Okay, number 12. Hopefully you guys have had time to at least try to do these on your own for a little while. Write an equation for each of the following functions that are transformations of log 2x. Okay, so what I like to do with these, in which we've done numerous times already in the video, is make a table. So I have my exponents over here. Those are the ones I recommend. Answers. So in order to figure out what actual graph this is, we want to graph the base function again. So that's just what we've done before. A fourth, a half, 1, and then 2, 4, and 8. Okay, so let's graph those points, and then we'll just be like, let's see what happened. So I'm going to have a fourth over and 2 down. I'm going to have a half over and 1 down. 1, 0. 2, 1. 4, 2. And 8, 3. And remember, this is a fourth, so this down here would be an eighth, and it just keeps going down like this, right? Okay, so now we're kind of wondering what's happened here. So it looks like the exact same graph, but all of these points have moved. So I like to kind of highlight the ones that I know exactly. So I'm talking 1, 0, I'm talking 2, 1, 4, 2, and 8, 3. Okay, so when I look at some obvious ones, it kind of looks like these two match up, right? And those two match up. So this looks like a shift of left 3. So I just make sure that that's true for all of the points. And I can see in every instance that the graph has gone left 3. And just like we learned in the last video, that a shift of left 3 is going to be log 2 parentheses x plus 3. Okay, now we're going to do B. Or maybe you guys will pause the video, and with that knowledge, you will try to do B. That might be a better way of putting it. So I'm going to start it just like the last problem, and I'm going to graph my table. And then I'm going to try to figure out what has happened. So again, if you guys haven't figured that out, maybe pause it again here to do so. So I can tell that the graph has been kind of moved over for sure, and then it looks like it's also been moved down. Okay, so the question is, how far down and how far over has it gone? Well, my first suspicion would be this, okay, because it looks like those points might match up. So kind of like slope, let's see if that's true for other concrete points. That looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. And it works for that one, and then it seems to be working in here too. So we seem to have a shift of down 2 and right 3. So f of x is equal to log, let's deal with the movement to the right first, and then we'll talk about how it moved down, okay? So leave yourself space and write log 2 and then x minus 2. So remember, just like in the last video, that x minus 2 moves it right, okay? Just like the x plus 3 up here moved it left. So that moves it right, and now it needs to come down. So it's that number that moves it down. Okay, so this is your horizontal movement. And this is your vertical movement. 13, graph and label each of the following functions. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to graph the base function, and then you want to move it like that, and move it like that, and same thing for all of these, okay? And when you guys do 13a and b, check your answer with a substitute before moving on to the ready, set, go. Okay, I do want to do 14 for you though. So 14, so you guys might pause the video here and come back to it. I would recommend that. So compare the transformation of the graphs of logarithmic functions to transformations of graphs of quadratic functions. So you got to kind of think back as to, you know, what quadratic functions were, like in vertex form, and how this would affect it, okay? And it's the same, because this would move it right 2 and up 4. So they work exactly the same as quadratic functions. So the only thing is no, we'll get into that when I get back. So for now, you just need to know what makes it go vertical, okay? So in your log function, so if I have like log, if I have log x, you know, minus or plus, whatever it is, and then I have something in front of it, minus or plus, whatever it is, this is horizontal, and this is vertical. Okay, but the horizontal, remember, minus is right and plus is left, and vertical is just like you would think it. Positive is up and negative is down. So you guys, that should get you through the task, and then go on to the RSG. Please work hard the entire period for the sub and get a good report. And there'll be quizzes to practice some of this stuff, because it doesn't really take a lot of practice. It's very strange at first to think about how this right here, the exponent, is the input, but it's kind of on the y side of things. It's very backwards. So make sure you get in some good practice today, and we will be practicing this a lot more in the future.